3. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Future Talks conducted by Prayaana Labs. My name is Chelsea Sunil and I'll be your host for the day. Now I'm going to begin with an introduction to Prayaana. Prayaana is a unique employability, entrepreneurship and innovation ecosystem for women. Prayaana Labs give wholesome career support services right from career counseling, training, mentoring and recruitment services all coming under one umbrella. So do check us out at www.prayaana.org. And in case you like what you see, please feel free to join us by registering at prayaana.in or by downloading the Prayaana app. Now, this is basically a community hub. It's a place where you can get together, share your queries, your thoughts, and even your ideas with women of similar interests. The idea behind the platform was to create a space where women can get together and share their thoughts and their ideas despite geographical locations and boundaries. Now, we will be launching hubs in each of your locations so that you guys can get together, organize events, and even go on ventures together. So, don't forget to download the Prayaana app. It's easily available in the Google Play Store or in case you have an Apple phone in the Apple Store. Now, before we go into the session, let me tell you, in case during the session you guys have any queries, please feel free to post it as a comment in the live chat box below and we'll get back to you at the end of the session. So today's session is on the topic 6 ways to be strong-minded. This session is going to be taken by Dr.Ushy Mohandas. Now, she is a very articulate and powerful motivational speaker, a peak performance leadership coach with more than 3 decades of experience, a communication scientist who has so far coached thousands of people across many cultures and countries. She is the creator of the widely acclaimed brand, The Mind Workshop. She is the founder, CEO, and the principal coach at Dr. Ushy's Wisdom Works. She is the regional head at IHRO for the states of Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. Formerly the Dean of KIMS Hospital, Bangalore, the Vice Chairperson of the National Women's Dental Council, she has been a mentor to many students and faculty across the globe. She is a specialist on the board of the advisory of womenplanet.com. We are super excited to have her on the show and a very warm welcome to her. Over to you, ma'am.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Shall I begin my screen share? Great.
Yeah, ma'am. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, so great evening to whoever is here. I presume some of you have come in here and some of you will get to see me later. I believe that the limit is not you, but it's your mind. And I also believe and worry about the fact that you don't set aims which are too high and miss it, but you always set aims that are too low and reach it. So today is all about just ensuring that you set your bar a little higher than what you've already set. And during these times when everyone is locked down, everyone is talking all kinds of rubbish, basically. And every single person who's educated on WhatsApp University and Google University comes up with their own theory about the virus. I think it's extremely important that we learn to filter and barrier all this that goes on around us. Be very aware and conscious about what we need, ladies and gentlemen. And at the end of the day, find out maybe a few methods to get stronger mind-wise. Find out a few methods in which we can actually elevate you to the next level of you. Now, is this possible? It's very, very possible. For those of you who've really gone through challenges, many of you, I have observed, call them obstacles. You believe you've hit your head against a wall. Some people say that I've drowned and I really cannot come up. Many people say that I've gone into a dark space. All the people who call and speak to me, they say we're experiencing chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, these are all expressions of something which is called the thought process. All of us have thoughts. All of us imagine some things. Many of us exaggerate in our own minds. Some of us have more challenges than the other. And at the end of the day, we all experience not just the white phase in our life or the colorful phase in our life, we also experience the darker phase or the black phases in our life. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love for us to understand that when you hit rock bottom, now that is the foundation on which all of us can grow. I've been working with people, I've been working with mindsets, I've been working with people mostly in trouble, because whenever people reach out to me, it's very rarely that they're calling me to share their happiness. It's most often they want to share something negative that happened in their life. And it's so, so sad that in today's world, right across media, right across fraternities of doctors, right across students, teachers, and common people just like you and me, we choose to share what is negative. And it's very rare that people really sit and exaggerate the good things. There's always a 10% out there who believes in good things. I want all of us, whoever is here today and whoever watches this later on, to believe in the fact that there's just a minority out there who's negative, but it's just the majority of the energy that they all put together that influences the majority who actually is positive. So let's change perspective today. And I'm going to quickly share my own experiences in the field of the mind, my own experiences in ways in which we can elevate ourselves, my own experiences with people and through their experiences where we have strengthened our mind. I have observed a lot of people sharing on processes, a lot of people sharing on the body, a lot of people talking about physical well-being. But ladies and gentlemen, there are very few of us who actually talk about well-being of the mind. The brain is just an organ, just like any other organ. And I'm not sure about other countries, but in this country, if you have a lung problem, we talk about it. If you have a heart problem, we talk to everyone about it. If our kidneys are down, we tell everyone that we have a problem. But sadly, if you have a mental problem, even if it's the slightest of problems, not many of us will dare talk about it. In fact, people in and around us will themselves come to us and say, shh, don't tell anybody about it. And that's a sad state of affairs. My name is Dr. Ushy. I run a small organization called Dr. Ushy's Wisdom Works. And today I hope to share with all of you the amount of wisdom that I've collected over more than 3 decades. This is all about experiences and people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when your mind is strong, you can handle all the ups and downs. And if you're in a good frame of mind, anything that happens to us seems like it's okay. But when our mind is a little weak and we are influenced by the negativity around us, and we actually don't feel really good about it, then some of us definitely make bad decisions due to fatigue now, a lot of fear, and mostly panic that is created by people whose versions of thinking you hear, what you see, what you touch, what you smell, and what other people tell you. All of these can become very overwhelming, strong influences that can change my own original thinking process. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's all in the mind. If I'm feeling strong, it's in the mind. If I'm feeling weak, it's in the mind. So if you strengthen your mind, even when you encounter something which is maybe a challenge or a difficulty or something that you really cannot cope with, it's very easy for you to start working on something that I believe can take you to the next level of you. We go to the gym to strengthen our body, we go walking, we go running, we do a lot of things today. And at the end of the day, we have strong bodies and weak minds. Remember, my dear friends, the mind and the body are strongly connected. They are interconnected. There's no point having a strong body when you cannot build a strong mind. And today, with all the experience that I have, all the ups and downs that I personally have gone through in my life, the journey that I've experienced so far of strength and weakness, I would still say that resilience is key to all our strengths. Please don't imagine the past. Please don't worry about the future. Always try our best to stay currently where you are. Even if it means that this is not a great situation, but I'm going to see it differently and do something about it very quickly. Some words we can remember for today. The first one I already mentioned, resilience. Now, the next one is grit and perseverance. I said it's all in the mind. Now, when I say it's all in the mind, all of us who are currently involved in this session, we are all physically almost alive. Not the external appearance, but the composition of the body in every single one of us is almost alive. Then what's different? What is different in all of us is our mindset. And can you imagine it says mindset? And we all have such rigid, concrete mindsets because our thought processes are completely molded right from our childhood until the time that we are now here and listening to this session, to a point where we identify with all our thought processes. Now, in order for you to become stronger, you need to identify with those thought processes that up you. And you need to actually dissociate from those thought processes that down you. And I think it's a great attempt from today that you will want to do to yourself, because I can only tell you what you can do. But if you really wish to take yourself to the next level, believe me, you need to try out some of these little exercises and these small little tricks we have employed amongst thousands of people in the globe, which you can take with you after today and actually just go ahead and do something in your own laboratory. I'm very grateful to Chandra for having given me this opportunity, and I believe I can add a lot of value to your lives. A strong mindset, ladies and gentlemen, is not just by default. You cannot eat good things and become a strong-minded person. You cannot just go out there to a gym, wear great clothes, look good, and then say that, yes, I'm a strong-minded person. You might feel you're strong-minded, but believe me, it's not as easy as that. Now, being strong-minded is a trait. And all traits, yes, need to be developed. They need to be learned. You have something inside of us. We all have the brain. We all have our thought processes, almost 30 to 40,000 every day. You don't know what is needed. We don't know what is not needed. But most of us absorb everything. We think everything is as important. We don't know how to prioritize. We end up messing up a lot of things. We give up very, very quickly. And after all the interviews I've conducted with people and spoken to, ladies and gentlemen, I have observed that grit and perseverance, the ability to get roughed and rubbed on the wrong side, and the ability to hang on when things are challenging, when there are obstacles, when there's negativity, when everything around you seems hopeless, that one moment when you hang on and say, this too shall pass, that, ladies and gentlemen, is getting mentally strong. How do you do that? I've observed entrepreneurs. I've observed sports people. I've observed regular people at home who do great work. Even being a housewife is a beautiful career. I mean, who on earth tells us that being at home is not, a difficult job? All of us who are under the lockdown have experienced how many of us are sitting at home and how difficult it is to do the work that people at home do. So let's not take them for granted. They also do work. They also go through challenges. They also go through downs. And it's not just people with careers that go through downs. So I'd love to state that for those who have been happy, who've been successful, who help others, who appreciate others, have a smile on their faces always, no matter what, and don't spread negativity. I have observed that the world's best trait is what they have, which means they're perseverant, they're full of grit, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, they are a resilient people. Now, quickly, some people say, I never give up. I never give up. That is not a strong mind. Now, sometimes you shouldn't give up. But you know what? Sometimes you need to give up quickly. And that understanding the difference between when to hold on and when to give up is only the trait of a strong mind. It's called AFR. And when you are 100% aware, When you have great amounts of focus, where you know what you're thinking, you know what you're feeling, and you know your behavioral pattern, and you understand that I'm going to have a change, I'm going to maybe be better or maybe not so better, but I'm never going to be reduced by it. It means I'm aware, I'm focused, and I'm resilient. Once you have the AFR inside of your head and you start working on it, then you believe that true strength of the mind comes from a combination of what I call AFR: awareness, focus, and resilience. I think that's the first takeaway for today: awareness, focus, and resilience. Do not forget grit and perseverance. Now, these are all words, but finally, qualities that take you to the next level. It's not important just to be strong and say, I never give up, I never give up. So, there are some disclaimers here. Strong mindsets are not switches. You cannot just switch it on and switch it off. It takes years for you, and it's a journey, my dear friends. And in that journey, you got to cultivate a strong mindset. How do you do that? Things you do every day, please watch out for it. Things and thoughts that you think every day, please watch out for it. In order to develop a powerful mindset, you need to watch out and make note of it. You cannot just imagine it, because in sharp 6 to 8 minutes, you would have forgotten about it. If you write it down even in 6 to 8 hours, you will slowly forget about it. And in this context, I'd ask you from today to please spend about 10 minutes with you, so that you can make a note of what is making you feel good and what is making you feel not so good. And it's important for you to write down at least 2 things in terms of people, thoughts, and situations that's making you feel really good and that's making you feel not so good. When you write these down, after about 3 to 4 weeks, you will understand what kind of habits are you used to? What kind of habits have you already cultivated? For me to become stronger, ladies and gentlemen, I need to get rid of all the habits that I have and substitute a couple of them. If you don't substitute your habits, if you don't change your patterns, you will remain the same person who's just increasing the age and absolutely not becoming strong mentally. So, very quickly, I'll share some processes. What is a strong mindset? People sometimes ask me, ma'am, what is a strong mindset? Now, a strong mindset is what allows me to stay focused. I want to become the CEO of a company. I need to visualize that, put it down on my vision board, and stay focused throughout my life to that. How do I do that? I need to do this because I need to focus on only that one thing and one at a time. The human brain is not very good at multitasking unless you have a superiorly functional brain. And in this context, whenever you're bombarded with you cannot, you cannot, you cannot, a focused mind will always say, let me do what best I can, and I'm really ready for the result. So, what's the strong mindset? It's all about being focused on intention. I want this, and I'm not really bothered about anything else. You need to sieve out what you don't need. So, it shows you clearly that a strong mind helps you understand that no struggle is ever permanent. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going through good times, it does not last. And always remember, if you're going through bad times, like now, it shall never last. Human life is extremely dynamic. Human thinking processes are extremely dynamic. 1 year down the lane, we would have forgotten the word COVID-19. We would talk about it in a lighter manner than currently we are talking about it, because we are going through it. People ask me, how do you go through hell? And I tell them, go through it. There's no other way. Please don't block it. Please don't go around it. Please don't try and go under it. You need to go through it. Friends, don't forget that success, anything which is a struggle, anything which is a challenge, anything which is a difficulty cannot derail you if you stay focused on what you want. And I'm a living example to that. And there are many people who've been doing exactly what was suggested to them, who can also vouch for the fact that slowly they've started transforming their mindset to come to a level where they do not make any self-destructive decisions. 90% of what we are and who we are because of the choices that we make. Ladies and gentlemen, Till you make the choice, you are the master. Once you make the choice becomes the master. And I think you need to start having this focus in your mind. Remember, focus, awareness, focus, and resilience, AFR. The next way is to use the power of intention. Now, when I say intention, we need to have something in your mind to give it the focus. You cannot say, I want to be successful. You cannot say, excuse me, I want to be happy. Now, the question the mind asks you is, when you say success, what do you mean? Do you want money? Do you want power? Do you want position? Do you want to help somebody? Or do you have an intention? And it's extremely important we understand not just what we want to become, but very specifically, we need to have intention. Because if you have intention, we all can build belief systems around it. And they can become the driver so that we can make whatever we have as a focused point from just something inside our head to something that can be achieved in real life. I always tell people, start thinking every day about what you want and narrow it down to a specific focus. There can be a lot that can happen between you and the intention that you have. Many people, when I tell them, sit with you, take time, sometimes smile and relax, take 5 minutes. You know what they tell me? Ma'am, we don't have time. We're so busy. Well, let me share a secret with all of you. Those of you who are busy always will make time. And those of you who are not doing your tasks very well, you will always tell me, I don't have time, I don't have time. So in order to mismanage your tasks, and in order not to lose your time, you need to make time to think. If it means 5 minutes, let it be 5 minutes. If it's 10 minutes, let it be 10 minutes. I would suggest 7 to 10 minutes a day. And that's all. Why do you need it? You need to reflect. You need to introspect because you are your best guide. People like us come and go. We might give you tips and suggestions. But if you, ladies and gentlemen, don't go back home and do something which is really useful for you, you don't make that time for you to think, then you really cannot do much with your lives. And if you cannot do much with your life, and it means you didn't do anything with your thoughts, then you definitely are a weak mind and not a strong mind. I've met many a person and many people who are physically very fit, and it takes just one puncture to make them lose everything that they gain physically. It takes you years to go to a gym. It takes you years to build the body that you really dream of. The same way, you need to mind gym as well. You need to make time to think. You need to make time to focus. You need to make time to visualize. It might sound theoretical, but try me on this. There are methods to the madness. And once you understand those methods, you will understand it's a way of living and it's not an exercise. Every single time you think, you must learn to get rid of those habits that take you down and always access those habits that actually take you to a different level of your thought process. This is a very, very big context that I just want you to remember. Please learn to deal with negative thinkers and thoughts. First of all, avoid them in physical presence. Be it your family or be it your friends. Learn to associate a barrier when people talk rubbish to you. I always tell my friends and people who come to me and my students, show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. It's very, very important because energy is very contagious. Good energy is contagious, but negative energy is like COVID-19, highly contagious, and half of it is just a rumor. Half of it is just gossip. Be aware of those negative thoughts in your own head that actually derail you, that actually take you away from the focus, that actually don't allow you to visualize every method that you can employ to go to your focus. Also learn how to deal with your negative thought in a productive way. There are many ways in which you can actually smash a negative thought. Now, when there are people you cannot avoid, people always tell me, what if my mother is talking negative things to me? Well, learn to create barriers. And there are ways in which you can do it through meditation. It's a very essential part of mind training. And once you learn how to do that, believe me, whatever anybody says, you become immune. There's no point going in and taking vaccines and doing all kinds of rubbish to prevent yourself, scrubbing your hands and scrubbing your legs and scrubbing your vegetables and scrubbing everyone else's legs. The best way is to increase your immunity. And when you increase your mental immunity, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes very, very easy. Instead of suppressing negativity, do accept that negative thoughts are what we all have, and it has zero power. Negative thoughts have zero power if you don't allow it. But if you allow it, then your whole world becomes negative. You need to replace negative thoughts with new ones. And that's why it's called the thought management systems. You can actually start working on them, because if you work on your thought management systems, you will realize you're braver than you believe. You also will not attach to the thoughts. Thoughts come and thoughts go. Don't give mind space for thoughts that are negative. Easier said than done, but I said you are a habit. Your thoughts are a habit. What you do with your thoughts is a habit. You smash the habit, you can develop many more good habits. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very, very important conclusion that I want you to understand. If you can see it in your mind, it's a matter of time before you hold it in your hand. You want an industry, start seeing it in your mind. You want to be an entrepreneur, start seeing it in your mind. You want money, start seeing it in your mind. You want success, you want power, you want happiness, you want joy, you want love. Start seeing it in your mind. And whatever you can see strongly, clearly, and specifically in your mind, it's just a matter of you and some amount of time when you can actually hold it in your hands. Go validate what I'm sharing with you in the outside world, and you will be thankful that I shared this today and you listen to us today. Because if you have a vision board, it's called a vision board, either mentally, which I don't recommend. If you have a small journal, it's called journaling. If you have a small book on which you can have multiple pages where you can write down all your habits, thoughts that up you, thoughts that down you, what are the constant negative thoughts that bombard your mind? What are the kind of people around you? What is your focus? How much intention do you have toward the focus? Remember, your awareness, your focus, and your resilience are the only ways in which you can develop strength of the mind. It's called a vision board because anything that you can see in your head, you need to keep jotting it down and draw clusters that go to your vision. If you draw clusters that go to your vision, maybe some of the clusters will come before you more sooner than you think. It's very important that you know learning is one of the easiest and quickest and strongest ways to become a strong mind. What is learning? It's not because you're not a student anymore. I'm a student of life all the time. When I ask people, why don't you improve your skills? Why don't you learn? Why don't you do some things? You know what they say? Oh, yeah, we are done learning. I'm not talking about your degrees. I'm not talking about rote learning. 100% of the people who pass out from the premier institutions do nothing with their lives. It's only that 10% that does something. And in order for you to be that 10% who does something with your life, you need not have rote education. I'm sorry to say this. I'm a great believer in education. I propagate good education, but it doesn't mean that the lack of it will not make you successful. 90% of the people who are truly successful in many ways, who are truly unique, innovative, and creative, some of them have never even seen the doors of a school. Because your brain is a powerful organ. And it's always easy to fall into the trap of negative thinking. I can't, but he can. I cannot, but she can. Why not? All of us can. We are gifted with the same 1200 grams between our ears. And I cannot see why nobody can. I think if you can, I can. And if we both can, the whole world can. You know what stands between you and what you need to achieve? Your lack of perseverance, your lack of grit, your ability to give up, your ability to fall into the trap of negative influences. You must hang out with people who have skills, who have knowledge and experiences unlike mine. I call it learn to lose. I want you to learn one strategy every day. Lose is learn one strategy every day. I cannot learn one strategy every day if I'm always with people like me. So what do? I make friends with people unlike me. You need to find yourself a group which is unlike you. And this is, the quicker you do it, the quicker you start learning. It's called learn one strategy every day, learn to lose every day. AFR, and learn to lose every day. Learn one strategy every day. And where can you learn it from? People who are not like you, people who are different, people who can take you to the next level. Because you need those tools, you need those traits. For what? To take you towards your focus, to take you towards your intention, to take you towards what you visualize. Where? On your visualization board, on your vision board, on that power of focus that I've requested you to work on. Ladies and gentlemen, find yourself a mentor today. Without a mentor in the world of the mind, you cannot do it to yourself. You might think that you're doing it, but it takes a whole lot of time for you to do, fall, do, fail, do, keep on falling, do, keep on failing. What are you wasting? Your time. You need to be extremely careful, because you'll gain confidence, you'll gain assurance, you'll also gain probably a pathway, because there is a person on the external world, a person who's not emotional, a person who's not within the inside world, a person who's not disturbed by anything emotional, who is going to look at you, handhold you, allow you one step up, pull you up when you're down, and show you the path that you really require. For what? To reach that focus that you should have written down, visualized, and worked around the clusters to take you to what you want. Who knows best what you need? It's only you. Promote positive people, promote people who are different, promote good learning, work with a mentor, make time to think. I've already discussed 4 aspects out of the 6. Now, people make these big plans. They say, I want to go to Mount Everest. Another guy says, I want to go to the moon. Now, why don't you make smaller plans, right? So it's important that if we make huge plans and fail, the entire disappointment sometimes becomes difficult to handle for some minds. Rock bottom is a beautiful foundation for us to build your life. Unless you hit rock bottom, you will never start growing mentally. And that's why I tell people, please don't fall steep. Take small steps. You can trip, don't fall steep. And when you have small steps and you consistently keep working on those small steps, you become more perseverant. You know there's going to be change. You may not be successful, but you definitely know that that failure has taken you to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, we are less likely to feel out of control if we locate small problems rather than large issues and large problems. So what makes you strong? Small steps, one at a time. You may trip, but you're not going to fall steep. It's important to break down the larger objectives into smaller steps. And if you start with small steps one at a time, you're bound to become mentally strong. And if you are mentally strong with a focus in your mind, you're aware, you have your focus, and you know that change is going to happen for good or for bad, and you're not influenced by the negative lot. It's just a matter of time between you and you feeling stronger than what you're feeling today, tomorrow. Well, I'm not sure about this, but in my case, I have to tell you that you must exercise. Like I said, the body and the mind, they're connected, they're interconnected. You cannot say I have a strong mind and a weak body. I have observed in patients who have strong bodies with weak minds, the disease attacks you far better. The disease brings you down far quicker. It's very important that you're in a state of ease mentally. If you're not in a state of ease mentally, it's a matter of time before dis-ease struck somebody. In current circumstances, you need to be mentally very much at ease, relaxed, not anxious, not panicking, not stressed out, not depressed. And how do you avoid all of that? The physical body is the best way to attack the mind. When your mind is not feeling good, use your body. And when your body is not feeling good, use your mind to reach your body. Both ways, the mind and the body need to remain strong, because successful people, ladies and gentlemen, know there is a strong connection between the mind and the body. I've not seen people who are not happy being healthy. And I've never seen people who are not healthy being very happy. So it's important that you're healthy bodily, It's also very important that you focus on your body. Self-love is the best form of love. Everything begins with self. You become selfless or you become selfish. And it's always the self that you need to begin with, because exercise is a must. Now, the next tip to become stronger mentally: learn laughter. What a generation we live in. What a society we live in, where we stop smiling at one another. What a generation we live in, where jokes need to have meanings. If I crack a joke, people ask me, what is the meaning of this joke? Why does a joke need meaning? Why can't you just laugh for the sake of laughing? And it's important that you indulge in intentional laughter, because the brain doesn't understand if it's funny or not. Every single opportunity that you have, you need to empower the endorphin release. Dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and serotonin. Any one of these four beautiful, do-good, feel-good hormones, if you can release, you can let go your complete stress and negativity. It happens as a side effect. During these times, you need to watch out for what you eat. You need to watch out for what you think. You also need to watch out for what you do bodily. If you have watch out for all these three things, naturally, you go to the next level. I'm not talking in detail unless you have questions. This is an area where I teach thousands of people across the globe, 80,000 people from January until now. Meditation, ladies and gentlemen, is the quickest way to the brain. Like you use your Chrome, like you use your Firefox. If you really want to explore your brain, you want to explore your thought processes, meditation is a must. You need to calm your mind. When your mind is agitated, you cannot do much with it. An agitated mind is a fickle mind. An agitated mind is a fragile mind. It cannot do anything. It can never be strong. All negativity sinks into such fragile mind, thereby shattering, thereby making you self-destruct, thereby taking away every possibility of constructive thinking. Meditation is a must, because meditation is a tool. Meditation is not a cure. I've seen people come and tell me, I'm not feeling very good, I need to meditate. Oh, I'm feeling very tired, I need to meditate. Meditation, ladies and gentlemen, is a way of life. Just like you have your bath, just like you brush your teeth, just like you wear your clothes, you're clean. The same way, in order to clean your mind, in order for you to find out what's happening there, in order for you to assess yourself, meditation is a beautiful tool. If you meditate, you get to know the internal selves a little better. Most of us are external human beings. I want you from today to understand there is something internal as well. So in order to explore you as a person, which only you can do, I believe that you need to learn how to meditate. YouTube is not the place to learn how to meditate. For heaven's sake, don't go by here and there and go to the great gurus who are going to sit there and give big talks and teach you how to meditate. You need to go to a person who understands the technique that they are using, sit with them, understand it, practice with them, experience it, go through the ups and downs, and they should be there for you to take their guidance so that you can go to the next level. Remember, you need a mentor not just to get strong, you need a mentor in meditation as well. It's not something that you can close your eyes and sit under the Bodhi tree and enlightenment is going to happen to you. And this is the biggest mistake people make. You get disillusioned. You say it's not working. You say it's useless. You say I'm not too old. Why should I start? The youngest person must start to meditate. And believe me, it makes a big, big difference in your life. It takes care of everything internal. The baseline of stress and anxiety is between your ears, and you will be able to tackle it. I'd love to sum up by sharing with everyone who's watching, and those of you who might end up watching this, that confidence, courage, commitment, control, and purpose, all right, are the main reasons for you to feel mentally strong. For those of you who don't feel mentally strong, you lack confidence, you lack courage, you lack commitment, you definitely lack control, and lastly, you don't have anything you need to work towards. They say when you aim at nothing, it's almost always that you're there. When you want nothing in your life, most often you're always there. When you're going nowhere in your life, no intention, no focus, no awareness, and I'm just going somewhere where anything takes me, it's very likely that every day you will be somewhere. And if that's the choice you intend to make, if that's what you're thinking, then I'm nobody to come and tell you, because my job stops when I bring in awareness to what you can do. Now, you must be wondering why there are 5 things here. The 6th one is something wherein I say you need to commit, and you need to commit to time. Because if you don't have time, then I'm nobody to come and tell you any of these things for you to work on. It doesn't happen overnight. It's all in the mind. It's in those 1200 grams between your ears. Like I said, if you don't have awareness with which it all begins, you don't have a serious need, and you don't say, you know what, I'm going to do it. The only difference between the person who comes second and the person who comes first is that amount of push that they give themselves, and that comes in only through mind workouts. Neuroplasticity is that branch of science which understands that a mind which is exposed to strong thinking, great workouts, good focus, great power, and good intention can never go back to its original shrunken self. A mind which expands is always expanded. A circle which expands with positivity can never be influenced by the negative mindset. Today, when somebody screams, the nation wants to know, a confident, courageous, committed, controlled, purposeful mind will just have a smile on their face, because nothing in this world which is negative can influence you, ladies and gentlemen. The virus shall pass. This too shall pass. We all will be happy and strong. I'm 100% sure about that. Like I said, when things are going downward, don't worry, it will never last. When things are going upward and everything's rosy, please enjoy it, because that too shall never last. Human life is extremely dynamic. I'm going to take you to the end. If you settle for mediocrity in yourself, that's what you're going to get. So please don't be surprised when you wanted something big, but you settled for something small. Your intention must be big. Your focus must be big. Like I said, your vision must be really large, but you can break it down into small steps and go step at a time, holding hands of many people, maybe jump over when necessary, maybe crawl under when necessary, maybe stay still when necessary. And I think this is what will challenge your beliefs. This means that every time you're faced with difficulty, please don't call it an obstacle. Please try and label it as a challenge. Once you enlarge your territory and call it a challenge, it's like you're working on a plateau, not struggling on a peak. If you're on a peak, it starts hurting you. I mean, you need to jump off. And in my life, I've always chosen plateaus. It just means that there's so much more space to move around. There's always empty space. Meditation gives you empty space. And empty spaces are necessary. They're like, because your whole mind is like a puzzle. And to move a puzzle, you need some emptiness. How do you get that? Sit, introspect, sit, reflect, sit and make time to think, and think the right things. When I say the right things, it means your subconscious mind is a beautiful, beautiful set of thoughts. You need to bring it out one by one so that it will fuel all your focus and all your intention. Convert all your obstacles into challenges, ladies and gentlemen. Don't wait for tomorrow. I would say today itself, you need to send me a thank you. You need to write a mail to me. You need to find yourself a mentor. I'm more than happy to be one if you really have belief and trust. Find yourself. There are so many such good people. Chandra is a great mentor. You can actually go to anyone who you have trust and faith, and you can actually discuss what you want. It's not only work. We are talking about life as well. Ladies and gentlemen, don't run. Don't panic. Face the situation. Just believe that you can do it. Fix it as soon as possible. When is the best time? Now is the best time. Who is the best person? Definitely you are the best person. And who the hell am I? Somebody who's been doing it to myself, somebody who's been doing the entire phenomenon of becoming mind strong day by day, minute by minute. It doesn't mean that I'm hard-headed. It just means that I'm strong and I know my way very well. I'm clear and I know the path very well. I'm ready to fail a million times, but I'm most resilient. It means that I'm definitely going to come out of the situation a changed person, but not being reduced by it. The mind is an extremely powerful organ. Ladies and gentlemen, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter, much, much smarter than you think. If you really want to believe me, you need to go out there and validate me. If you don't, then keep in touch. I would love to know you more. I would love to take on some questions from you. I'd also love for you to share with me what you thought about my session. My name is Dr.Ushy Mohandas. I'm very, very grateful to Chandra and the whole team at Prayaana for having given me an opportunity to tell you that building a strong mind is not tomorrow. It's a lifelong task. Even when you die, it doesn't end because the mind continues to exist. It will not only pay off when there are obstacles in your way, it will become a habit and eventually a part of your identity. If you sit in my presence, there's no way that anyone can feel down and low. Because energy, ladies and gentlemen, is highly contagious. Even at 8, 9 in the night, everyone feels alive. I'm coming in after multiple sessions. And believe me, I'm much older than most of you who are listening. And guess what? I can still go on for another 10 sessions. It's called the power of resilience, the power to understand that awareness, focus, and resilience will make up the tools for you to ignite your own mind. Write to Ushy at Gmail is my ID. If you have anything that you want to ask me now, I'm open to questions. I'm going to stop screen share, and I hope all of you can see me. I cannot see you, obviously. So I presume that there will be somebody who's going to ask me the questions. If you really want me to address the questions, please just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to take your questions.
So, hi, ma'am. Yeah, so we do have a couple of questions.
Please do.
So, the first question is from Viraj Tiveri.
Yeah.
So, the question is, please recommend some exercises for mental strength.
Yeah. The mind, unfortunately, is not like the gym. The only way in which you can get mind strong is by meditation. Meditation is the only way to explore your mind and get mind strong. But at the same time, you can do journaling. Journaling meaning to say you can keep writing those thoughts that up you and those thoughts that down you. There's also an exercise called I am, I have, and I can. So it's called resource finding. You need to sit and find out what are your traits that build you and what are the traits that take away from who you are, and find out how to eliminate those traits that destruct you and encourage those traits that build you, right? So without a book and without you writing it down, it's very difficult for you to actually go somewhere and say that now I'm going to make my mind strong. All right. You can never learn swimming by watching videos, even if an Olympic swimmer teaches you. But if I once push you into dirty water and you drink that horrible water and you choke and you gag and you go, then you will learn your swimming, right? The same way, unless you go through challenges, unless you go through your obstacles, unless you get rid of negative people, you cannot become mind strong. You have to always work in multiple ways to ensure that you have a thought management system. When you have a thought management system, you can definitely work yourself to better strength. I hope I'm able to add some value. Yes. The next question.
Next question is, ma'am, you spoke about meditation. Is there any specific one you can recommend?
No, I will not recommend anything. I have my own methods by means of which I do help people to meditate. Yes. But at the end of the day, I would just say that those who come and meditate in any way, there are 100,000 ways of going to heaven. You find your own way. Going to hell, there are 10,000 ways of going to hell and 50, 100,000 ways of going to hell. Nobody needs to teach you. Everyone's going there already. So you can choose anybody that you trust. You can choose any technique. I would recommend non-religious techniques, and you should just indulge in a practice and stick to it and don't become a serial meditator. Please don't go around everywhere learning 100 techniques. It's not going to work. So that's really what I'm sharing with you, that probably there are 100 different ways of going there. Choose what you're comfortable with. We teach a different way. If you really want to learn, you're most welcome. But I will not recommend anything because everybody is respectful. Everybody's intentions are good. It's up to you to choose wisely. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next question is from Chetan Kanmani.
Yeah.
His question, what he says is, nice session, Ushi. Once you die, mind does not consist to exist. On what basis did you say this?
I said, once you die, the mind is always there. I never said it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In fact, when you die and the body is lying there, all dead and in your coffin or under the grave, for more than 48 to 72 hours, you still have electrical signals in your brain, because your brain is actually waiting for the body to come back. And the hard disk never gives way. It's always waiting for you to come back. And the moment you're brain dead, that's when you actually die, because your memory is alive, your entire functioning is alive, your entire system, which is holding your identity as you, will pass on. And I believe that that is a whole different story. Maybe Chandra will give me another opportunity to talk about life after death, but I still believe that you're nothing but a small source of energy, and that energy will continue whether you're there in this body or whether you're there anywhere else. So energy cannot be created, energy cannot be destroyed, energy can only transform from one place to another. So you can translocate energy. So I said that the mind will continue to exist.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. The next question is from Anand HV. How do you deal with a mediocre boss?
Kick him where it hurts. And if it's a her, kick her a little gently. You don't need to deal with them. Communication is a tool. You need to learn the art of negotiating. You also need to learn the art of influence. If your mind is strong, what you say will rule over your boss as well. If you're a great communicator and you have good energy, you may not be in hierarchy as high as your boss, but you can definitely influence the mind of your boss. If you feel your boss is mediocre, you're passing a judgment. And strong minds do not pass judgments. Who are you to say your boss is mediocre? Maybe your boss feels you're useless. And that's one of the reasons why you cannot pass judgments. You need to say that we are not on the same page. Sometimes you don't agree, so you beg to disagree. You need to dialogue. You need to negotiate. And if things are not working, you need to understand that there is disparity. You need to bring on a third person. It's called buffering. Okay? And everything can be buffered. You can always be friends in spite of not being the same. And if you call somebody mediocre, they will act mediocre. It's very important that you don't bring people through words to a level that you believe will affect them and through them you. You're in your mind always operating on bias. You need to get rid of the bias, have a broader slate, accept people for who they are, learn their weaknesses, also learn that everyone is not complete. Nobody thinks like you. You cannot change anybody. You can only change yourself. Probably that's a lesson that you need to keep in mind. Try and see in what ways you can change so that your boss learns to deal with you and you can deal with your boss, who's not mediocre at all. We're all the same. Yes.
So we have the next question is from Bhaumik Bhagat.
Yeah.
Hello, Ushi ma'am. Sometimes you may get an inspiration in night to do a particular thing, but the next day you tend to roll in everyday task and you miss and you forget it. How do you stay inspired and keep working on it?
Everything is self-motivation. And I say that if you really don't want, and if you really are losing it, then you don't have a steady mind. If you want to be a Diwali rocket and go just up to here and go, that is your choice. If you want to become a rocket that goes to Mars, then the preparation is good. The construction has to be great. The fuel is actually very different. And it goes only once in 10 or 100 years. It can't keep going every day. So it's all dependent on the fuel on which you're running. And that fuel is what is the chemical on which the brain runs. You need to generate good chemicals. You need to have a great diet. You need to have a good body and a great mind and a good set of chemicals, because humans are run on chemicals. Your hormones, your water, and your fat is what's responsible for the brain function. You need to really start working on it and start working on certain exercises, which you'll have to repeatedly do so that it becomes a habit. You need to become a highly disciplined mind, and it's not easy. Most of us are masters of 50,000 kicks practiced once. I'm a master of one kick practiced 50,000 times. So it's just left to you. You're losing motivation because you're not deep. You're losing motivation because your thought is very superficial. Learn to build depth to your thoughts. And when you build depth to your thoughts, the roots become very strong. And it's doable. If I can work in 14 jobs, why can't you work in 5 more jobs? Why can't you have 5 more sources of income? You're all very young. You can do a fab job. So it's all about undying motivation, but not foolishly going into areas and saying that everything is possible and I'm going to stand in front of this orange tree and wish that this becomes an apple. You need to be very realistic, right? Yeah.
The next question is, we would have built ourselves, however, series of defeats put us down. How do we revive ourselves after a series of setbacks and defeats and rejections?
Like I said, you're stronger than you seem. You're smarter than you think. And very important, you're braver than you believe. So all of us are preordained. We do have a specific path which is set for us. The story of I'm going to go there and create my destiny, I think you should try it. But I will still say that what is meant to be shall be, and what is not meant to be shall not be. So sometimes gracefully accept a defeat and move on. Sometimes when the path is too concrete and stone-like, don't break your head trying to break it. You need to move and choose a different path. So all of us have different paths. All of us have different habits. All of us have different intentions. You have multiple ways of achieving what you want. A creative and an innovative brain will choose those multiple ways, and you need to work on those ways. If you don't expand your mind and the device is not 5G enabled, you cannot catch 5G. So the first job of yours is to enable your device 5G, and then you will be able to transfer and utilize 5G. You cannot have a device which has 3G and then say that I'm not able to receive 5G. So there's a lot of work which goes into making your brain expanded. There's a lot of work which goes into getting your mind out of the habit that it's used to and create new habits that will enable it fertilize your thoughts better. Yeah.
So another question. What is the difference between a negative person and a doubting Thomas? It is important to doubt too. So what do you think, how do you not turn that into a problem?
Well, I would say a doubting Thomas is all of us. It's a very natural human trait not to trust people. It's a very natural human trait for us to doubt something, because obviously we also think from a center which is ourselves. And all human beings, they are basically the kinds that doubt. That's why we run on fear. Fear and doubt are actually very protective to the human being. High risk takers can be dangerous. But if you're going to go and take a flight and you don't have a parachute on you and you're taking a free fall, then I think that's being foolish. So doubt is absolutely not negative. But if you keep doubting 24 hours, then yes, it becomes an obsession. Anything which is a habit is all right, but anything which is an obsession is not very healthy, and you need to take care of it. So doubting is perfectly okay. I doubt people. I'm extremely mentally strong. I doubt people. And you need to doubt people. It's a protective mechanism. You can't blindly trust everybody. But at the same time, if you're negative, it just means that you've given up on everything. I'm full of drama and trauma. I find fault with everything. And whatever you do good also, I find fault with. And if you're about to do something, I will get in your way as well. It's like those huge speed breakers that the PWD department makes, where it doesn't break only the speed, it breaks your car as well. So I guess like anything in excess is no good. Yeah.
Yep. So this is the last question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, would you like to say some strategies for women, especially in our society, which limits women's growth in multiple manners?
No, I do not. I'm gender agnostic. So for me, I can have a great woman and I can have a great man. I found horrible women and I found horrible men. So I'm not, in favor of women or in favor of men. I believe that so long as your head is working and your heart is beating, as a doctor, I only look at life. Clear thinking and an empathetic heart. Clarity of thought and empathy in your heart. I think these are two deadly combinations. The only one trait I'll ask you as a woman to develop: never take a backseat. Be assertive. Ask for what you want. Never be a part of a narrative which makes you anything less than what you feel like. Always on the spot, get assertive. Always stand up and speak for what you believe in. People may mistake it for anything, and I think you should become immune to other people's opinions. So if you're immune to other people's opinions and you get more assertive, I think you're definitely taking yourself as a woman to the next level. You know what? If you're a man and you speak loudly and walk around the place, people will say, what a leader. Wow, so powerful. But if a woman speaks loud and clear, they'll say, oh my God, here comes trouble. So we are taught in this country to stay quiet, walk behind somebody, don't make noise, cover yourself, and never be the individual that you want to be. They say 90% of the people are living in cages with the door open. So get out of that cage. Be it a man or a woman, get out. And you will see how much you can experience joy and freedom. Are we done?
Well, we do have a couple of more questions. So if you don't mind,
I
do
don't
you
mind.
mind?
You can, yeah, ask me. Let's clear it.
The
And
next,
anyone else can write to Ushy at Gmail. Just leave the email ID so they can always, if they see it, they can always write it. Yeah? Yeah. Go ahead, tell me.
next question is from Soul Post. Why so specific that one should go for a non-religious method? What is wrong with a religious method if it's not doing any harm?
Well, I would not say there's anything wrong with it, but religion, so long as propagated by sensible people, so long as propagated by people who are strong and see neutrality and acceptance, I'm good with it. But if you're going to be divisive, if you're going to create a cult mechanism, and if you're going to say one is better than the other, then definitely you're influencing the mind in a very negative way. If you're able to get spiritual and you're going to believe in oneness, and like I said, different ways of going to the same source, and you have the broadness of mind to accept not only your religion, but somebody else's religion, you're welcome. But you know what? It's a minority out there because people use religion to fear other people. People use religion to trigger fear in people. People say, my religion is better than your religion. I'd rather be a beef eating, peace loving person than a vegetarian who attacks people. And this is exactly what I'm trying to say. It's all about context, it's all about perspective. Religion, a majority of the people are divisive. There are some people who are really good. And anybody who practices religion, any religion, it's private practice. I respect all religions. And I believe that each one of us has a right to practice whatever we want. I'm just worried about those people who are going to be influencers in the wrong way. Influencers which are costing lives. Influencers which are brainwashing children. Influencers which are wedging people. And I think the whole human society is just one. I believe in oneness. And anybody who teaches you oneness, you're just a part of my heart. And anybody who doesn't, I will ensure that I have your heart very soon out of your body. It's as simple as that.
Okay, so the next question is from Sai Kiran. So, hello, Ushy madam. One suggestion for fresh graduates who are getting into a new job and how to stay focused.
Well, the first thing is find a mentor. The second thing is learn to meditate. The third thing is start maintaining a journal. And the fourth and most important, make time to think, reflect and introspect, write down exactly what is your focus or intention, one step at a time. Make plans for 3 months, make plans for 6 months, make plans for 9 months, and make plans for 1 year. You need to have a very big plan that you make and break it down into smaller chunks. We call it the inverted pyramid. And once you make that, I can help you with the path. Find yourself anybody, a teacher you look up to, somebody who has experience. Believe me, you need not be old to have experience. I have learned from a 15-year-old. I also learned from a 20-year-old. It's only the thought processes and the brain. You need to look at somebody who's really good at what they do, and you need to go and seek their assistance so that they can add value to you. And anybody who can add value to you will help you to set a plan in place. Once you have a plan in place, there's no looking back. You have a Ferrari with you. There's a 6-lane highway. All you need is fuel. I hope the prices don't increase. The virus will die. All you can do is like sit in your car, sit in your fuel, and just go on your highway. Nothing can stop you. So these are the steps. Big plans, smaller plans, find a mentor, learn to meditate, make your focus, write down what you want, find out what is your intention, one at a time, knock it out, and then you'll be able to move forward. Yeah.
Yeah. So next question, and hopefully the last question. How do you become so energetic? How do you stay so energetic all the time?
Well, a lot of people ask me this question. I'm doing very well for my age. People sometimes ask me, are you high on something? And I'd like to share the secret with everybody here. The secret of my energy is Horlicks. So go ahead and have some Horlicks. People generally have Boost. I think it's time to have Horlicks. I'm joking. I wouldn't know. I think it's just the spirit inside. I just believe that when there's fire in your belly, there's sparks that fly out of your mouth. And I always live with fire in my belly. And I think you should set it up. I mean, nobody asked me to, but I do it. So I guess a lot of people, including me, have benefited. So there's no age to the mind, right? The mind is always young. And I think you need to nourish it. The body ages, and to hell with it. Who wants a good looking body when you die? You need to tear it apart and go to the grave in pieces. I mean, that's the philosophy with which I live. You can choose differently. I have my choices and I respect yours as well. We all have space, right? So are we done with the questions, my dear?
Yeah, that was the last question. And thank you so much for coming on the show. A very, very energetic, very impactful show at that. Thank you so much. And now we're going to go into the feedback session. So you guys know the drill. You guys can leave your feedback as a comment in our YouTube channel. And we've already received a few feedback, and I guess I'll read out a few of them. So while the first feedback is from Deepanshi Divine. Your words are so powerful as always, and love your energy. And the comment from P2P Consulting, very well balanced response to each question, and I enjoyed the conversation very much. Now, yeah, and from Vinay Chandran TS, very affirmative and a clear attitude. And Anand Techweet, she thanks you for your wonderful response.
Yes. So, yeah, Chelsea, I'll just request you that all these responses, what you can do is just please take a screenshot and just share it on my Facebook page as well. Right?
Yeah.
You just see me later on, okay, once everything is done. Yeah. Right? That's all. Yeah. So, Chandra, thank you so much. Means a lot to me. I'm not seeing you. I don't know why you're not showing your pretty face. You've canceled everything and slept off, I think, behind your camera. And Chelsea, thank you so much. Very nice meeting you. And to every single one of you who came out there, I guess it's been great. Thank you so much. Yeah, bye. Great night.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm here behind the screen, managing the tech side of it.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Okay. So now this is a poster for this tomorrow's session. The session is on the topic, raise your personal vibration using sound as a tool. The session is going to be taken by Priyanka J. Patel, who is a sound practitioner and the founder of Sound Healing India. The session will also be from 8 to 9 p.m., just like today. So this is a poster for the coming week. I've already announced what's going to be happening on Thursday. So on Friday, we have a session on the topic, Unlearn to Learn, the Fuel for Career Crossroad Decisions. This session is going to be taken by Mr. Amit Vincent, founder and director, Opposite Learning Solutions India and Typo Solutions USA. On Saturday, we have a session on the topic, My Prayaana, from Taboos to Empowerment. This session is going to be taken by Aparna Gopan, founder of The Elephant in the Room. So with that, we're coming to an end to today's session, and I will make a call for interns. We have a few positions opening up for interns in content writing, in digital marketing, and as a community manager of our various hubs. So you can drop your resume at joinprayaana@gmail.com or contact us at 8590339393. You can also get the contact details at our FB page. So hope to see you guys leave your resume there. And thank you so much for watching, and see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. And do not forget to subscribe to us. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much. Stay safe.